Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the grand finals of the Season 3 Invitational of the Eternal Tournament Series. I am, of course, your host, Bairdrus, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, LightsOutAce. And boy, do we have a wonderful rematch for you all. For those of you who have been there for the whole show, you will remember that we watched this matchup 2 series ago. Visarius, unfortunately, went down 1-2-3 to aReNGee. And we're going to see if he can run it back on aReNGee and reclaim some of that glory. For those of you who are unaware with the format, this is a true double elimination tournament, meaning that aReNGee has to lose 2 sets to be knocked out. The first best of 5, if he loses, will be called a reset, and we will play a second best of 5 series. However, aReNGee, since he is in the winner's bracket, if he wins the first set against Visarius, he will be crowned the winner, and Visarius will take second place. So let's jump straight into it, I guess. The players are about to queue up, and any final thoughts before we get into this wonderful matchup, Ace?
I just think that aReNGee is unstoppable. This guy, he's a chicken who knows exactly where he's going, and with his sideboard set up well for this match with those Healer's Cloaks and Reality Wardens, as we saw put to great effect in the winners finals. I would not be surprised to see aReNGee just take this series right here and win the tournament.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all either. I definitely think Visarius has a chance, certainly, but with how hot aReNGee's running, it's been impossible for anybody to stop him up until now. And with that 3-1 just absolute beating he had on Visarius earlier, I mean, the 3 games that they played, due to Power Screw and Power Flood in a couple games, they weren't even close. And the one game Visarius won, he just had the absolute perfect draw. And wow, we see Visarius with an excellent draw out of the gate here as well.
Yeah, this is pretty aggressive.
Yeah, this is definitely going to give him an advantage.
Drop and then Vara's favor to find a third power.
Yeah, this will be a huge advantage for Visarius. He wishes he was playing first here. However, this will be a slight reprieve for aReNGee to be going first here. It means he won't be staring down as quick of a clock, but that clock will be mounting against him very quickly, no less. We see Pyro Knight coming down early. Temple Scribe, an important blocker, although you can either, we'll probably see the Argenport Instigator since we've seen this exact same scenario come up in, I believe, our previous match. Maybe he's feeling he needs to get even more aggressive, though, and it looks like he is indeed.
Yeah, well, so since aReNGee doesn't have the potential of a false prince, I think it's okay to just use the Vara's favor here.
Yeah, he definitely wants to go ahead and take care of the Temple Scribe to force as much damage as he can. We see aReNGee responding with a Valkyrie Enforcer, and Visarius likely to just go ahead and end of turn drop a Cabal Countess into play and set up for a Bandit Queen next turn to push a ton of damage. I believe it's going to be 12 damage next turn.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to know from aReNGee's perspective if Visarius just has a handful of expensive cards or if he's got a Cabal Countess. Although with that C power, he now knows that it is that Visarius has an Annihilate to play.
Yeah, although
or
I
a
think
fastball of some sort.
Yeah, it did pass back to the end of the turn. I'm curious what kind of fastball aReNGee might be packing then. Some sort of protect, possibly. But yeah, we're likely to see this Bandit Queen come down here, and Visarius just try and push for 12 while he can get it in. And, 12 is a lot of damage in this matchup.
Yep, aReNGee chump blocking signals to me that he has a Harsh Rule.
Yeah, we're very likely to see Harsh Rule here out of aReNGee, and that is, in fact, what we see. Visarius, fortunately, has, at least 1 or 2 cards to reload with here. He's got the Impending Doom as well as the Argenport Instigator. So we'll see Impending Doom come out right here, although I have a feeling that this Impending Doom is going to meet a very quick fate of a Vanquish. We haven't seen one out of aReNGee yet. We also haven't seen a target he can aim at that.
Yeah, Sandstorm Titan means that Visarius can annihilate this and push in a bunch of damage, including an extra one, like a bonus point from this Argenport Instigator.
Yeah, and due to aReNGee not having the Vanquish and instead just having the Sandstorm Titan to try and block this, aReNGee's under a lot of pressure very quickly. And Visarius still has that Obliterate hanging in his hand, so he will have some burn to push to the face. I mean, he could actually get in 2 points of burn right here and put his opponent on 1 HP if he chooses to Obliterate Martial Ironthorn. Or alternatively, he can make the correct decision and go ahead and take the game right here.
Yeah, if Angry Chicken doesn't have a Protect right here, that's the game, and it looks like he does not.
Yeah, and I think that's why he went for the attack out of the gate, is to fish out, see if he had a Protect and kind of gauge where he was at. So once he saw that the coast was clear, he decided to drop in that Obliterate and take a very quick game 1. So Burn Queen.
It looks like Angry Chicken's Protects are actually all in the sideboard. So Angry Chicken doesn't have access to Protect for games 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, Visarius had an absolutely nuts start. That's what he's looking for. And another, what looks like really great start for him right here. Double Champion of Chaos into Impending Doom. He can even get the Quarry off on curve. He'll just go ahead and drop his Stone Scar banner on turn 1. Though he is on the draw again, a little unfortunate for him. You definitely want to be on the play when you're playing this aggressive Burn Queen deck.
Yeah, so like Visarius is kind of off to a slow start. Like he won't be able to play a unit until after Angry Chicken has taken 3 turns. But all of the cards that he does have are just so powerful.
Yeah, they really are, though. I mean, this is going to be a crazy start out of him. It's actually a little surprised that he goes ahead and gets the Oni Ronin down. I mean, it definitely has the War Cry and the damage out of the gate. And Quarry is just as useful later on. But it does get brick-walled by things like this Cumbria Healer, so we'll see where he elects to go this turn. I have a feeling this will just be a Champion of Chaos setup, since Champion of Chaos can push past these Cumbria Healers fairly easily when you have 3 Shadow Influence to give them Deadly.
Yeah, and now Visarius can Quarry for the 4th power here if he wants to.
Yeah, he absolutely can, and not even worried about that at the moment. He's just going to trade his Champion of Chaos off for the Sandstorm Titan and go ahead and drop another one and say, you got another?
Yeah, and like, sure, that takes up Visarius' whole turn, but it took up Angry Chicken's whole turn to play that Titan too, so he's not too upset about that.
Ooh, and with the Champion of Chaos now, yeah, and since he didn't have Rapid Shot last turn, this is definitely gonna signal that Angry Chicken should just block here with the Martial Ironthorn to make sure that he gets the trade. He's gonna get a little punished for it. Yeah, I would not attack with the Oni Ronin here actually, because that signals your Rapid Shot for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about grabbing the Soulfire Drake here with that Quarry. Like, Visarius' hand already has so many 4-drops, and he doesn't even have a 4th power.
Yeah, Soulfire Drake's a little concerning, especially with the 3 Fire Influence requirement on it, and Visarius is lacking the 3rd Fire Influence. So if he finds a Shadow here, he'll be able to cast Impending Doom or Bandit Queen, but that Soulfire Drake will be stranded in his hand for quite a little while. And, Annihilate's a big pickup here. Yeah, Annihilate's a huge pickup here. He really needed to find that, because that allows him to... I would not Annihilate pre-combat. I would have definitely swung in with the Champion there and tried to get off the Rapid Shot bait, and then decided to attack, or decide to Annihilate. Because you never know if he's going to block with the Sandstorm Titan and be comfortable trading that. And if he is, then you can get the bait with the Rapid Shot, clean it up for free, and then Annihilate Martial Ironthorn himself.
Yeah. Visarius is just like very constrained on what he can do each turn here.
Yeah, this is the power issue with the Stone Scar deck. Like, they're in this very awkward situation where you don't want to draw any more than about 5 or 6 power, but you absolutely need to draw to 4 and 5 to get down quite a large portion of your deck. Angry Chicken, on the other hand, with the power in play, is going to be able to produce quite a few threats at this point. Yeah, I was about to suggest that we might be seeing a Great Parliament in a few minutes now, that Angry Chicken is above 8 power.
Yeah, I mean, Angry Chicken's hand is just 2 power, but Angry Chicken's board is enough to win the game easily, so I think he's in fine shape here.
Yeah, I mean, Angry Chicken, I'm pretty sure you just block the Oni Ronin here with the Cumbria Healer now, and you're pretty happy with this. I mean, you're likely going to have to Rapid Shot down one of the Owls, but honestly, if I was in Angry Chicken's shoes, I'm not sure I would have even bothered to block the Champion of Chaos, because you just have 2-turn lethal in the air, and your opponent's still stuck under 4 power, really doesn't have an answer for it in the meantime.
Yeah, and using this Rapid Shot also means that Visarius can't play the other Champion of Chaos this turn and has to just play a Pyro Knight.
Yeah, and if he just plays Pyro Knight, Pyro Knight's going to be forced to block. He's very likely going to be forced to block this Martial Iron Thorn because 9 damage is quite a bit to take. Like if you're Visarius, you do not want to go down to 6 here.
Yeah, just the chump block. The Combre deck is racing the Stone Scar deck very, very well here because the Stone Scar deck is stuck on power.
An Angry Chicken making a wise decision to play his power preemptively. Never know when you're going to lose your Martial Iron Thorn, so...
Yep, plays around a defensive rapid shot.
Yeah, or just a torch even. Anything to take care of it. And Angry Chicken has the owls to reload, and Visarius says, okay, I've had enough.
Visarius has just had enough of that game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we see the series tied at 1 game apiece going into the sideboarding for these players. And we've already taken a look at their sideboarding plans before, so I have a feeling we're going to see similar plans out of them again. But let's just revisit it for those of you who weren't here.
Yeah, the main change that happens is that Angry Chicken brings in 3 Protects, 2 Healer's Cloaks, and 2 Reality Wardens. It's taking out some of his expensive cards like Martial Iron Thorn, Mystic Ascendant, maybe even a Harsh Rule.
Yeah, and that helps him out quite a bit. I mean, the Healer's Cloak we saw in the first series with these players was what ended up winning him the game 4, or just solidifying game 4. He was already decently well off to win, but it absolutely solidified it when he gained an extra 9 life off of it. The +2/+2 is pretty irrelevant when it comes to Healer's Cloak, but that life gain against Stone Scar essentially forces them to have an entirely extra burn spell that they weren't accounting for in the first place when they're trying to do their math and figure out how to kill you.
Yeah, Visarius, on the other hand, doesn't improve very much. He can trim a couple of cards, like maybe on Torch, which isn't very effective against Combre, and bring in like Sabotage or Annihilate instead. But his deck largely stays the same, while Angry Chickens gets to improve a lot.
Yeah, and that is kind of the case of the Stone Scar deck in general. Like, their sideboarding isn't always the most effective. Definitely against this big Combre list, like, a lot of these cards really don't find a home. Suffocate's not very good. Ruin is pretty useless. Sabotage can be good, but isn't always the most important card since you still want to make yourself aggressive. You don't really want to go into more of a card advantage battle since you're generally guaranteed to lose that. You don't want to be the controlling player. You just want to be aggressive, and Visarius definitely has a good hand for that currently.
Yeah, it feels good to sabotage a Harsh Rule or a Great Parliament or something, but you'd almost always rather just be another unit or burn spell.
Yeah, Champion of Chaos is generally much, much better. So we're likely going to see a Var's favor on nothing this turn. Actually, Visarius is going to be very patient, just trying to get aggressive units down here, which makes sense, though this does slow him up from playing things like Cabal Countess in the following turn, assuming he doesn't hit a power here. Although we do see the turn 2 Temple Scribe, so that holding Var's favor here is actually going to pay off very nicely for Visarius.
Yeah, and I also think that when you have a rapid shot in hand, it's especially nice to just get down all these Pyro Knights, because Angry Chicken can only play 1 unit at best in the next turn, and rapid shot lets you go through it while pushing a bunch of overwhelm damage at the same time.
That is very true as well. Sandstorm Titan definitely going to get completely blanked here by this rapid shot, assuming we don't see Seraph right here, which is going to demand the rapid shot before it. Although now since he had the power in hand off the Var's favor, he'll be able to rapid shot here and then also use Cabal Countess on the end step and activate it next turn. I mean, this is looking like a runaway game for Visarius right here. This is, if he's going to win this series, this is what he has to do.
Yeah, just so much damage here that's so hard to block. Like, if Angry Chicken plays a Titan, it gets annihilated. If he doesn't, then this Cabal Countess comes down as a 6/1 quick draw.
Yeah, and 6/1 quick draw is just so devastating. And now he can just leave the Pyro Knights back while he attacks with the 6/1, knowing that next turn he can power the Pyro Knights up to 6/5s. And Angry Chicken, who just missed power last turn, also looks like he's going to miss power at this turn. It's going to put him in an unfortunate situation. Oh yeah, Bandit Queen is the pickup. Yeah, this should all but seal the game. Although he's not even going to bother with it for the time being. He's just going to get in with those two. Although those don't actually cross the line. So this is kind of awkward play for him here. He doesn't really want to attack with the 2/1, and he doesn't really want to attack with the Cabal Countess, and the 6/5 just bounces. So he might have actually really wanted to go for the Bandit Queen this turn. He was almost guaranteed like 10 damage with the Bandit Queen.
Yeah, Bandit Queen would have forced a chump with the Combre healer, and could eat the Bandit Queen with the Seraph, but then would take 10. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be able to establish the Bandit Queen on the following turn, and it should work out to basically the same thing. But a slight slip up there, although Desert Marshal coming out is going to take care of the quick draw. Oh, actually, no, just shuts off the other Pyro Knight. That's also an acceptable play here.
Yeah, I think Angry Chicken's plan is just to chump block the Cabal Countess for the rest of the game. He has a bunch of little 1/1s and 2/1s.
Yeah, although that might not be an option after this attack right here. He's going to have to lose a lot of his board. Hopefully Angry Chicken has a Harsh Rule in hand and just has another power that he can go ahead and drop. That's going to be the line he's looking to take here.
Yeah, only one good block here, and then a whole bunch of chumps. And the 7/5 Pyro Knight has Overwhelm as well as Quick Draw, so you can't even chump that.
Yeah, can't chump block it, so we're going to see what happens here. Angry Chicken really needs a power and a Harsh Rule. If he has that, he's good to go. This will also work for the time being. That at least shuts the board down. So now Visarius cannot attack, although any Flame Blast, Visarius draws, or combination of two burn spells is looking like lethal. Comber Healer, very important here.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Angry Chicken still wasn't looking to be in a very good place because Visarius could just rip a burn spell, but now going up to 10 health, Visarius has to hit 2 burn spells here.
Yeah, this actually does put Angry Chicken in a much, much more comfortable situation. And in the meantime, Angry Chicken is just going to be kind of poking away. There's really not much his opponent can do about it. Hopefully Angry Chicken has something else to follow up with. Yeah, another Seraph is great here. Just establishing more threats on the board is what's important. And a third Comber Healer.
Every single unit is multi-faction. Like, this Annihilate hasn't been able to find any targets yet.
Yeah, sometimes when you play against the big Combri deck, Annihilate is the best card you have, and sometimes it's absolutely garbage. I mean, Seraph and Combri Healer are very important units, as well as Desert Marshal, and none of them can get hit by Annihilate, so it can be very, very difficult. In the meantime, though, Visarius is just going to start chipping away with his units here, and now that he's got 8 power, he can power off the 3/4 Seraph and start cranking out units. We see a Huru Envoy picked up as a 4/4.
Don't want to annihilate that. Your opponent will get to draw a card.
Yeah, actually, a little bit of a counterintuitive interaction there. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and spin this first because you never know if you're going to hit a Karya. Explorer Emeritus, though, so that's nice.
Yeah, if he draws a Healer's Cloak here, that's 15 health.
Yeah, this is absolutely huge. I really struggle to see Visarius getting back into this game at this point. He would need running Flame Blasts right here to stop this because the clock is starting to mount against him.
Yeah, I don't know why this Pyro Knight wasn't trading with a 2/2 just to shut off the damage a little bit.
Yeah, maybe he's considering keeping it around, hoping he could find like a Rapid Shot or something.
Yeah, and I guess I can chump like something bigger later too. Like preventing 2 or 4 damage when you can prevent like 6.
Yeah. Well, we are at a bit of a standstill as far as Visarius is concerned, but Angry Chicken isn't looking to stop at all. He is ready to keep rolling with this train. And yeah, now he can even get the extra unit in. No, you definitely, as Angry Chicken, should get in that extra Combri Healer. I definitely feel like you want to get that extra damage in. I don't think you're too worried about getting burned out here, and you would rather put them on a 2-turn clock anyway.
Yeah, and Visarius does end up blocking 2/2. Also blocking with the Countess, realizes he's never going to be able to get in an attack, and just wants to buy some more time to draw some burn.
Yep. And I mean, that's all he really can do here. You can point the torch at face, which is understandable, although you're still 1 power and a Flame Blast off of actually winning. Though now you're in Flame Blast range, so this is at least a good way to start. Angry Chicken just going to be, yeah, he's actually, in fact, drawing here first because he's looking for the cloak. He's recognizing that he is within burn range, and he's trying to prevent himself from getting blown out here. He should not attack with those units first if he expects to spin the Seraph, but maybe he is planning.
He's got something else in hand that he wants to play if he's doing this, like a couple of Sandstorm Titans or a Great Parliament.
There you go. He found the extra Combri Healer, and that's what he needed to lock the game up.
That's healer number 4, right?
Yeah, that is. He's played all 4 Combri Healers, and that's what he needed to lock up this game right here. Like, he needed that extra healer because now there's absolutely no way he's going to lose this game. There should just be lethal on board on the way back, and yeah, Visarius needed to find Flame Blast off the top to start the train, or He at least had to find Obliterate or Torch to start it and then be able to block this turn, but it's not going to be enough. So Visarius going to go down that a game. Angry Chicken going up in the series 2-1, I believe.
That was the first time I've ever seen a 316 Seraph before. Like all 4 Combrei healers hit that same Seraph.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just the largest Seraph that there has ever been, and he did his job. His entire job that game was just look scary, and that's exactly what he did. He just sat there and had a big old mean mug on his face, and nobody was able to do anything about it, and that essentially won him the game. Like stopping that Cabal Countess in time as just a 3/7, and then just becoming absolutely indestructible. I mean, he realized that there was no way for him to clear out that Seraph at a point, so he just started hitting the same Seraph over and over.
Yeah, after that last game, Visarius goes to the sideboard, cuts a Torch and an Annihilate, and adds 2 Suffocates.
Yeah, and I mean, he needs them. Like, but then you get hands like this where you draw removal and a minor burn, and if Angry Chicken just has like anything really to roll with, like he would be fine. I mean, now that he's picked up an Argenport Instigator, this is at least threatening out of Visarius. But if he hadn't picked up that Argenport Instigator, first play would have been turn 4 Impending Doom, and like Angry Chicken, all he has to have is a Vanquish, and you're good to go at that point.
Yeah, so Angry Chicken didn't have a turn 3 blocker despite having so many Combrei healers and Seraphs in his deck, so Visarius has a chance now. He's got removal for whatever unit Angry Chicken does play.
Yeah, Angry Chicken is gonna he's probably gonna drop a Sandstorm Titan here, and this is just gonna get annihilated away. So this is the starting of the opening. Like this is, if you're Visarius, this is what you're looking for. You want your opponent to just spend their whole turn playing big threats that you can easily take care of. If turn 3 had been Seraph, like Suffocate would have been great for it. And now that Visarius has picked up Cabal Countess, like he's really gonna start to put the clock on. Impending Doom coming down this turn. I'm not sure how I feel about that, actually, because that does play into Harsh Rule and Vanquish. But
yeah, Harsh Rule is really good here now, and Visarius doesn't have that Cabal Countess up. So he's sort of getting punished here.
Yeah, and it's going to take him a turn to establish this, more importantly. Like, he has to take a whole turn off, and Desert Marshal responds to Cabal Countess very well, even if it gets caught by the Torch on the way back. Like, you're still forcing your opponent to commit just a lot of power to what essentially amounts to nothing.
Angry Chicken just playing 1 Owl here, and Cabal Countess does match up really well against that. Like, this is going to be 6 more damage to the face here. Ooh, and another Annihilate.
Yeah, and yeah, he's just going to go ahead and punch the 6 here, and this will crash cleanly. Like, this puts Angry Chicken down to 12.
And Suffocate in hand. There's like basically no combination of units Angry Chicken can block with, so he needs that Vanquish here. Well, and he does.
Yeah, and he does have Vanquish here, so that'll take care of that. And now it's on Visarius to find some combination of burn and units to actually take care of this matchup. This Owl is very likely getting annihilated, but in the meantime, actually he's electing to save it, and he's going to go about it a little bit differently. He's going to build his own Annihilate with the Var's Favor and the Torch to go ahead and clean up the Owl, and also thin another Sigil out of his deck. Although the Protect right there, now Visarius has to weigh if that Annihilate is actually worth it.
I think that Protect there, I think that Visarius is okay with that Protect there, because like the Var's Favor and the Torch to face weren't actually adding up to a big burn spell, if you know what I mean. Like it didn't add up to an Obliterator or Flame Blast, and now there's 1 less Protect for those spells. So like Visarius is now just 2 hits away.
This is very true, although, the clock is still rolling on the other side of the board. Like, if Angry Chicken can put something together here to block this Champion of Chaos, and he can still get him with the Owl, like, he has put Visarius on a very real clock. If he hits him this turn, Visarius only has 3 turns to figure out the board. Although it looks like Angry Chicken doesn't have anything to follow up with, so we'll see.
So probably like a Desert Marshal coming down here.
Probably. We're going to see if the Annihilate actually hits here. I think Visarius is actually willing to go in for the trade here because he's assuming Angry Chicken has a Scorpion Wasp or a Desert Marshal, and he's willing to try and fish a double block here, which I think is smart, or even a single block.
Yeah, the nice thing about Deadly and Overwhelm is that even if your unit gets blocked, then you can annihilate the blocker and still deal the full damage to your opponent. It's like if Angry Chicken just blocked with the 4/4, Visarius could have still pushed 5 with the Annihilate.
Yeah, he absolutely could have, and that's exactly what we saw. Although Visarius chose not to push there, and that might ultimately cost him. We will see. Oh, Reality Warden, absolutely huge here. That's just gonna brick wall Visarius for the time being. Like, he can take care of the bird in the air, but until you find a rapid shot to take care of this.
Yeah, that thing is just a brutal beating.
Yeah, we will see how this goes. I'm curious to see if he tries to swing in with the 3/3. He looked like he was considering it for a second. If you want to try and bluff the rapid shot, maybe you can force in the 3 damage. I mean, he at least has the Cabal Countess here. We'll see if there's a block made. I have to imagine not, although by the same token, if you don't block here, you're staring down a very, very quick clock. Definitely if Angry Chicken has anything to follow up with here. Yeah, even a single 4/4 would have been lethal here.
Yeah, I like the block. It prevents you from dying in the air here.
Oh, yeah, and it does.
Highlight means you get an extra turn.
Yeah, and more importantly, I mean, you're going to go. I would not. Yeah.
I would definitely have annihilated first, because then you're winning the race.
Yeah, you put your opponent on a 1-turn clock. You force them to cobble together another blocker. But as is, yeah, now Angry Chicken under no pressure right now, assuming that there's no Obliterate to follow up, or Angry Chicken, has some sort of spell here. Maybe he has a Desert Marshal that he's holding off. Visarius finding no burn, though. I mean, this is a little brutal for Visarius.
Yeah, now Visarius can't even attack, and this Annihilate is just going to be useless.
Yeah, and Angry Chicken looks like he's holding still. I mean, he was holding a Desert Marshal, I think, based on him not attacking there. So we're going to see the block here, and we're going to see what Angry Chicken has to follow up with. But if Visarius can't find anything immediately to take care of this Reality Warden, this is just going to be over. There's the Obliterate. Yeah, this is if he had used that Annihilate that 1 turn, he would have game right here.
Yeah,
but
and
unfortunately, he didn't.
Congratulations to Angry Chicken, our Season 3 ETS Invitational champion, going undefeated through the entire winner's bracket, the whole tournament.
Yeah, very big congratulations to him. Taking down some very convincing series. That's 2-3-1s in his favor over Visarius to get into the grand finals. The first one in the winner's finals, and obviously the last one in the grand finals. So yeah, very, very, very big congratulations to Angry Chicken. He was certainly a crowd and fan favorite to take down the tournament with his very impressive win rate throughout the weeklies. I mean, he's definitely was all of our favorites here at aReNGee to take down the tournament. So, yeah, huge props to him. Very big congratulations. Big congratulations to Visarius as well, bringing out Stone Scar, being a little bit of the dark horse, trying to take down the big Combry. Couldn't quite get there in the end, but still taking second place. He's going to lock himself up an invitation to the mid-season major, which is taking place in 2 weeks. So huge congratulations to both of those players and to all of our players who came out and competed in the tournament this weekend. Everybody did fantastic, and we were super excited to see such a great field and get to watch some amazing matches of Eternal.
Yeah, that was just spectacular. I'm glad I got the chance to cast the top 8 with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, LightsOutAce. It was very, very awesome to be able to cast with you as well. And really quick, before we hand it over to aReNGee, LightsOutAce, where can we catch you at?
Well, you can catch me on Twitter, on YouTube, both LightsOutAce, LightsOutAce1 actually on YouTube. And then you can also catch me on this very channel, twitch.tv/aReNGee Eternal, on Sunday afternoons, barring the tournament ones like today, and Wednesday nights.
Yeah, awesome. And of course, for those of you who know me at this point, I'm Bairdrus. You can catch me on Twitter at Bairdrus. You can also catch me doing the podcast that we do every 2 weeks with Neon. We just put out one last week, so check that out if you would like to. It was really cool. Me and him will probably record one in the coming week about the Invitational. So you can check that out. We normally release them on Sundays or Mondays. You can find that on you can find it through various podcast feeds, or we have a link to it on the aReNGee Eternal website. You can also catch me casting on the weekends normally and streaming on this very channel on Thursdays from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. So come check it out and hang out. Thank you all so much, and we are going to pass off to aReNGee to close it out.
Hi guys, aReNGee here, your Eternal behind the scenes guy. I'd like to take a moment here at the end of the broadcast to congratulate all of our winners today. Of course, we've got Angry Chicken, our newest Invitational champion, for the prize of coming in first with an incredible undefeated record. He earns himself a trip to both the Mid-Season Major in 2 weeks and the World Championships down at the end of October. A very coveted Champion Discord badge, cash prize of $80, and 12 series points. I'd also like to congratulate Sarius for a very respectable second place, which earns him a cash prize of $60 and 9 series points, which is enough for him to go on to the Mid-Season Major as well. In third place, we have our EBR representative Love Up, who takes 7 series points to earn his way into a Mid-Season Major berth as well. Beyond those players, everybody else who was involved in playing in the Season 3 Invitational, I'd like to thank all of you guys as well for coming out. A lot of people worked very hard to get here, and a lot of people did really well. And there isn't enough time to congratulate 32 people individually, but I'd like to thank them all as well for coming out, spending their various Saturday afternoons with us, grinding through the Eternal Tournament Series, and then coming out for a big 2-day tournament here. They all stuck around to watch the broadcast even after they were done with the tournament, so a big thanks to all of them. And a big thanks to the team behind the tournament as well. Of course, we've got our ETS production team. The tireless Miller Tool always does he's our producer, does all the streaming for all of our tournaments, so a big thanks to him. He's been here the whole weekend. Alongside him is our tournament organizer, Rick Kenner, who not only needs to deal with all the garbage that the tournament players complain about, but also all the stuff that we do behind the scenes to make his life an absolute misery. A big thanks to all the casters that helped out. LightsOutAce and Bairdrus just signed off for today, but also Locopojo and Trudon yesterday. Big thank you to all of them. And to the people who aren't part of the aReNGee Eternal team but are absolutely essential to putting it on, we've had a lot of graphics come through from a variety of sources. I know Kirby, one of the tournament players, made a lot of our graphics for this particular broadcast, and everybody else who was involved. Discord mod Zariah made our overlay that we use for all of our tournaments. And a big thanks to our Patreon supporters, without whom the Eternal Tournament Series really would not exist. You guys sponsor just about 100% of all of our prize pools, make sure that we can afford to pay everybody to keep everybody coming out, produce the tournaments, all that sort of stuff. So a big thanks to you guys. If you love the tournament series and you want to see more of it and help us expand and grow and give more back to the players that put all their time and heart and soul into this, be sure to check out our Patreon and help us out there if you can, if you want to. Our next goal is guaranteed prize pools, so you'll be helping the players out, as all the stuff that you put in comes right back out to the community. Finally, I'd like to thank all the viewers for coming out today. Without you guys, this wouldn't be worth putting on. It's all you guys that come out to watch and cheer for your favorite players and casters and things that really make this worth putting on. So a big thanks to all of you guys who are watching today. That's all from the broadcast for today, and I'd like to personally thank you all and say, have a good evening.
Yeah, and really quick, actually, before we go, we just want to thank all of our $20 Patreon donators, Chuck Hurst, Sean Kim, Haishin, Christopher Bisbee, Mark McCandis Jr., Greg Rouse Emini, and Easy. Thank you guys so much for your $20 donations. We really do appreciate them, guys. You really are what keep this show running. So once again, thank you all to the players and viewers, and you all have a wonderful evening.